Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for varsity basketball competition. Please welcome our guests from Freedom High School. They are the Patriots. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And now let's meet the lineups for both teams, beginning with our guests from Freedom. And we will start at guard with 5'8" sophomore number 0, Austin Davis Garcia. At forward, 6' senior number 1, Tamari Turner. At guard, 5'10" junior number 13, Holden McKenzie. At forward, 6'3" senior number 23, Jonathan Colon. And finally, for the Patriots at center, 6'5" junior number 32, Maxwell Dye. The head coach of the Patriots, Duke Leonardo. Assistant coaches Adam Ojeda, Mo Mahoney, Ronnie Gossett, and Jalen Enrique. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting at small forward with 6'2" sophomore number 0, Jaden Battle. At shooting guard, 6'5" sophomore number 15, Michael James. At power forward, 6' senior number 11, Xavier Christian. At point guard, 5'11" senior number 12, Isaac Lester. And finally for the Mustangs, at point guard, 6'1" senior number 1, Terrence McLean. The head coach of the Mustangs, Mr. Justino Lubin, assistant coaches Charles Hardy and Rodney Oliver. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. Tonight's game, once again, is being live streamed on YouTube. If you have friends and family who are not able to join us in person, send them to the Wekiva Sports channel on YouTube. Again, that's Wekiva Sports. Make sure you subscribe while you're there. We just crossed 400 subscribers. We are on a quest to get to 1,000. You can help us do that. It's absolutely free. Tap the little red subscribe button on our YouTube channel today. If they are not available to join us online, or if they'd like to see the scoreboard in addition to the video, you can go to WekivaMustangs.com. We have links for our scoreboard and live play-by-play stats. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you, along with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, to take you through our first home contest of the new year.
Well, again, thank you, Mark. And as you said, it's our first contest of the new year. calendar year, that is. It's good to be back here at Mustang Arena as always. And we come in tonight, and Mark, Wekiva just is not having a season that we're used to, only 3-9, and they've lost their last two. Well, actually, they've lost more than two, but most recently they lost 2 games this weekend, playing in the, I forgot the name of it, but it was down in Miami, their tournament. They've gone there 3 years in a row.
Yes, I believe that was the Adidas Holiday Slam.
Yes, thank you. And again, not a very promising start here for either team, really. Both teams turning the ball over on their first possession.
3 for Laster won't go. And the rebound for the second time tonight rolls over to Austin Davis Garcia.
So again, Mark, Wekiva comes in at only 3-9, but Freedom actually is a little bit worse. They're 1-10 themselves. They're a program that's struggling right now as well. So definitely a much needed victory could do a lot here for Wekiva.
Steal by Christian there. He's not able to convert it, though, in transition. It's going to stay with the Mustangs, though, as it goes out of bounds off of Freedom. Nope, I lied. It, in fact, did go to Freedom, but then they promptly turned it over to the Mustangs. James gets a shot blocked, but Michael James on the putback.
Nice move there by Michael, using his body as a shield. And Wekiva's going to start off this game right away here. They're going to full court pressure.
And a wide open transition opportunity. Dye unable to convert. And so Freedom showing the youth of their team there, as they had a golden opportunity to score in transition. Mustangs had no coverage available, and they just were not able to convert the layup.
Yeah, well, Freedom did an excellent job of beating the press, but could not take that last step of finishing, getting the basket there. Strong inside rebounding as well.
And here we have Michael James fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The Freedom foul is called against Maxwell Dye. That's his first personal and the team's first. First free throw finds the mark for James. Checking into the game for Freedom, J.C. Cologne.
So far, Michael James has scored all 3 of the points here for Wekiva. He's definitely come out in his first game at home of the calendar year.
And he'll make it an even 4. Full court pressure coming on again from the Mustangs. Again, an opportunity in transition, and this time it goes. Jonathan Cologne on the pass from Damari Turner.
And there you see the high-risk, high-reward nature of a press. That's basically the difference between a press and a trap real quick.
Damari Turner. And that steal happened so fast you might have missed it. Nearly got another one there. And now the Patriots are going to get called. Freedom foul is called against Austin Davis Garcia. It's his first personal foul. And the team's second. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 32, Donovan Stokes. Stokes is a JV bump up for the Mustangs. He's been playing on varsity since mid-season. He adds a little bit of depth for Wekiva at that position. And here we got Michael James down the baseline for 2.
So that's 6 points there for Michael James. 2 of 2 from the field, as well as 2 of 2 from the free throw line.
And speaking of James, Michael James is called on the foul. It's his first and the team's first.
So Michael's doing it all, not just the good, but the bad there too.
Pressure in the backcourt once again for the Patriots. They go to the corner, to the key, and it is Damari Turner on the layup.
So both teams here so far have, other than the free throws that Michael James made, they've all been layups. Good job on all of them of using the body and twisting to that inside and banking it off the backboard.
Christian takes a step forward, lets a jumper go. That's not going to fall. The rebound goes to Davis Garcia.
So despite the turnovers and some other miscues, this game's moved at a fairly fast pace, Mark. Not only as far as how quickly the game's progressing, we're already 3.5 minutes in, but again, it's been very up and down, not a lot of stoppages.
Terrence McLean is into the game for the Mustangs. Backcourt violation, Mustangs ball. Isaac Laster also returns for Wekiva.
And I can hear Coach Lubin urging his players to start moving, which is actually one of the problems they've had all season. In my discussions with Coach Lubin, he has mentioned several times that Wekiva does get into a pattern of not moving when they don't have the ball.
Isaac Laster into the paint for the layup.
So the first point scored by a player other than Michael James.
Although still by layup, to your earlier point.
And again, Wekiva remains in that full court press.
Cologne's three is just short. Rebound to Jaden Battle. Battle to the corner. James takes a three. It's a little too hot. Second chance layup, and it's good. That is put back by Terrence McLean.
So, of course, McLean has been one of the big guns as far as scoring for Wekiva. He's averaging in the high teens. And there you see why. That's his first point of the game. But a nice job of using his body, as I've mentioned several times, to get inside and corral that rebound, and that left him with an open shot.
McLean tries to go coast to coast, can't get it.
Who got the putback?
Putback is scored by Michael James, and we'll pause for a 30-second timeout requested by the Patriots.
So now as we come back here, Wekiva with a 12-6 lead, 3:07 remaining in the first quarter. And Wekiva also remains in full court defense. They're using a press. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, difference between a press and a trap, there's several, but the big one is press definitely uses a lot more high risk, high reward tactics.
James gets a block. Three won't go for McLean. And we're going to get a held ball. Possession Patriots.
So real quick here, the difference between a trap and a press is you can see the high risk there. Wekiva's actually gotten away with a lot of freedom mistakes, or Freedom's made a lot of mistakes, but mainly the difference is the trap is exactly that.
Terrence McLean down the baseline for a reverse layup.
You want to cut off part of the basketball court and really trap a team into a certain area. Steal. Whereas the press, and in order to trap, you have to pretty much your players stay in the same position, the same general area. Press, they're moving more. It's a more fluidic style of defense.
Fouls called against Mustangs number 1, Terrence McLean. That's his first personal foul. And it's the team's second.
That was Michael James who scored last, right? James scored last, right?
No.
Oh, so now Wekiva is actually on an 8-0 run. They've scored 8 in a row. And
In one of the more unusual moves I've ever seen. That was Michael James. I guess I'll call that a block. I think that was intended to be a shot, but it blocks all the way to the opposite baseline. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Xavier Christian.
so I guess you could say the sophomore certainly was exerting his presence.
Holden McKenzie gets a basket and a chance to make it a three-point play. The Mustang foul is called against Donovan Stokes. It's his first personal foul, the team's third.
So, and again, Mark, I don't think you have to be a basketball guru to understand it's never always a bad play when you not only give up a field goal, but you commit the foul as well.
So the Mustangs will not lose the three-point play to the Patriots on that go-around.
And that basket there does break an 8-0 run by Wekiva, getting some separation. It was 6-6.
Buck 19 to go in the first. Mustangs doing what needs to be done so far. And there's a steal. And it's promptly given back. Out of bounds, Mustangs ball.
And again, Mark, this has been a very sloppy quarter. Even though it's 14-8, 10 turnovers total here, and most of those were not turnovers created really by the defense, just bad decision making, like we just saw there with Wekiva, throwing the ball right into the teeth of the Freedom defense.
McLean goes over to Stokes. Nothing there. Back to McLean. Getting double teamed. He'll go out to James. James has an open three, and it's too hot. Rebound goes to the Patriots' Holden McKenzie, and they'll get probably the last word of the first quarter.
And McKenzie with that rebound, very strong, going up there using his shoulders to line up with the basket. And another good play there by Freedom, forcing the action.
Donovan Stokes is called on the foul. That's his second personal. And the team's fourth. At the line shooting two, Holden McKenzie. Two for two at the line for McKenzie.
And now Freedom has scored 4 in a row to cut that 8-point lead. Down to 4. Wekiva with an opportunity to get the last shot here. Let's see if they go that plan. Too hard off the board. They're really not a good decision to try to drive the lane. There were 3 Freedom, or if you prefer Patriots.
And that takes us to the end of the first period. The Mustangs have a 14-10 lead over the Patriots at the end of the first quarter. Patriots have the opening possession of the second period.
Got a new subscriber, by the way.
And welcome back to live action here at Mustang Arena as we get the second quarter underway. Patriots get the opening possession here.
So looking at the stats here real quick, Mark, they pretty much tell the story.
3-point basket by Holden McKenzie.
Wekiva is not shooting the ball particularly well. They're only 6 of 20. 5 field goals from three-point land have missed. They're about 40%, maybe high 30s, 6 of 15 from the 2-point. However, they have taken 9 more shots in Freedom.
Isaac Laster to Xavier Christian for 3.
So, again, if you shoot 9 more field goals, that gives you 9 more opportunities to score points. And that's pretty much been, as I said, the story of the first quarter. And so now, as we mentioned, throughout that first quarter, Wekiva was going with a full court press. They remain in man-to-man coverage.
Offensive charge is called against Holden McKenzie, his first personal, and the team's third. And that'll turn the ball over to the Mustangs. Good job there by Isaac Laster taking that charge, planting his feet.
Yeah, that's what a lot of coaches would call a man's foul there. That was definitely body on body, a lot of weight and motion. So, again, neither team shooting the ball very well. Freedom only 4 of 11. That's under 30%. Wekiva 6 of 20. Again, the difference as far as Wekiva building a lead is they took 9 more field goals.
Michael James back into the game for Wekiva.
And the reason I bring that up, Mark, is because the poor field goal shooting continues here. Only 2 baskets between the two of them. 2 teams, 5 attempts.
Bad pass there is recovered by Stokes. And then McLean is nearly going to give the ball up to a steal.
Well, a nice pass into the middle there by Michael James, but the second pass was not.
I'll get away with it, though, as Xavier Christian gets the rebound at the other end. And poor shooting percentage continues to plague the Patriots. There goes McLean with a good pass to Christian. Still can't get anything inside, though, as Michael James tries to get it. And it is going to be Michael James fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul called against Maxwell Dye. That's his second personal foul, and it's the team's 4th.
So also an advantage in offensive rebounding for Wekiva, Mark. Both teams have 7 boards on the defensive end, but it was 6-1 on the offensive end. Not really much of a difference in free throw shooting. Freedom 2 of 3, Wekiva 2 of 2, and Freedom turned the ball over 5 times compared to Wekiva's 2. So at least Wekiva's doing a good job of holding on to the ball. They're not allowing that turnover, which creates transition opportunities.
James hits 1 of 2 at the line, improving the Mustang lead back to 5. Wekiva would certainly feel better about a little bit more distance here before we get to halftime.
And they certainly have had their opportunities.
Illegal hands called on number 32, Donovan Stokes. It's his 3rd personal foul, the team's 5th. Checking into the game for him is number 10, Isaiah Laster. So Stokes is going to have to sit down for a while as he picks up his 3rd foul, and we still have a good 21 and a half minutes of game time left.
Yeah, that certainly is going to come into play here. And as you mentioned, Stokes just got caught up from the JV, right?
That is correct. He started the year on JV, and he's been playing varsity for the last few games.
So that's a midseason call-up, which is always to get some depth. And, of course, with him on the bench, that pretty much negates the original plan there.
Yeah, the other big change to the Mustangs roster has been Malik Tolbert in for Malik Dixon. Dixon is injured, and so Malik Tolbert has been called up to take his place, which is, of course, doubly confusing because Tolbert wears the same jersey number as Dixon and has the same first name. Foul is called against Mustangs number 0, Jaden Battle. That's his first personal foul, the team's 6th. Checking into the game for Wekiva number 12, Isaac Laster. So we keep our Laster quota constant. As one comes out, one other.
And for those of you who have not been following the team throughout the season, they are brothers. Isaac's the older of the two. He's a senior this year. Now, Wekiva, as we mentioned at the beginning of this quarter, remained in man-to-man, but they've gone to half-court.
Jump shot by Holden McKenzie. And that was a true second chance there, even though they didn't actually take the basket, as Terrence McLean from under the hoop for Wekiva. They had a golden opportunity at the other end a minute ago to get a layup, but the bad pass just didn't set it up right. They were, fortunately for them, able to convert it anyway. And I don't know what that was supposed to be. I think I'm going to call it a shot.
It was a bad play.
Yeah. The pause here for a timeout. Wekiva requests a 30-second timeout. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Back from the timeout. Patriots in control of the ball. A three from McKenzie isn't going to go.
Yeah,
and McLean rebound.
And Mark, that was not a strategy timeout. That was a chewing out timeout. Of course, Coach Lubin and Wekiva are over to our left. There was no strategy involved, no blackboard, the wet board. That was just Coach Lubin standing in the middle of the circle of players, giving it to the players, letting them know he's not happy with their effort. So again, as we mentioned at the beginning of the game, this is a game that Wekiva really needs to have. It's not a district game. They're just having a bad season, and they need to get some momentum and find something of their footing, so to speak.
Foul is called against number 12, Isaac Laster. That's his first personal foul, the team's 7th. It will put the Patriots into bonus, but first, Donovan Stokes returns to the game for Wekiva. At the line, shooting 1-1, Austin Davis Garcia.
So again, Wekiva is only 3-9 this year, Mark. Certainly a record we are not used to seeing. As a matter of fact, I don't think they've been this far below 500 at the halfway point of the season since their first season.
Yeah, Neil, you and I have talked a lot about this season, that the Mustangs have been on the edge of greatness in a lot of cases, that we see a lot that we like from them, we see a lot of good moments, but they are not able to string enough of those moments together to actually get wins. They've had a lot of close games, but at the end of the day, as you've said, Neil, you're only as good as your record says you are, and right now the Mustangs are a losing team according to their record.
Well, to be in fairness to Bill Parcells, he's the one who said it. I disagree with him, but nonetheless, when you're 3-9, it's not like they're 5-5 or around 500. There's several games under 500, and as we mentioned, they've had several close games, but they've also been blown out in a number of games. Of course, Edgewater got the mercy rule on them. That was about 3 weeks ago.
Turner to Braden Van Bart for 3.
And then, of course, right before the break started, the academic break, Apopka came in here, and they won, I believe it was 32 or 33. The only reason that they did mercy rule them was because time ran out. But Apopka came out of the gate in that game and pretty much put a hurting on Wekiva right away. It was double digits about a minute and a half in. And if my memory serves me correct, Wekiva opened up that game going 7 of 7. And I got to tell you, no matter how good a team is, you go 7 for 7 because you're getting open looks at the basket.
Van Bart not able to convert the layup. And just barely Donovan Stokes manages to stay in bounds, and we're going to pause here as the Mustangs request a timeout. 30-second timeout is called by Wekiva. Welcome back. The Mustangs again taking a timeout to reassess the situation here. They've spent both of their 30s now.
And just to continue or wrap up what we were saying about just the team just not always having the best effort. Of course, I mentioned Apopka opened up their game against Wekiva, which was about 3 weeks ago, with 7 consecutive made field goals. One of the things that Wekiva has avoided tonight is falling behind by double digits at the beginning of the game. So I guess, again, that's a good sign.
And now 3 consecutive times the Patriots have managed to bat the ball out of bounds away from the Mustangs. It does stay possession with Wekiva as Jaden Battle is back in for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and Freedom, I haven't had much of an opportunity to talk about their defense. They've run a number of zones. They went to a 1-3-1-2 timeouts ago, and it does seem to be paying dividends here for Freedom. Wekiva really has not done anything as far as improving on their field goal percentage from the first quarter.
No baskets. Offensive charge is called against Terrence McLean. His second personal foul, the team's 8th. No bonus shots on offensive fouls, but it turns the ball over to the Patriots. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Xavier Christian.
So now Freedom, despite all their problems, have an opportunity to take the lead here right before halftime.
Foul called against Patriots Damari Turner, his first, the team's 5th.
So Wekiva dodges the proverbial bullet there.
Yeah, for those who have been following the Mustangs for a while, you know it was just a couple years ago that they were in the state finals. And you saw how important that graduating class was to them as Terrence McLean hits a jumper for the Mustangs. And they went from the state finalists to a sub-500 team very quickly as they were just not able to reload behind a very young program overall.
Yeah, well, not only did they lose, I believe they lost five players from that team that went to the final, but of course, last year they lost 3 other seniors who were a part of that team. So that whole entire team, the players who were part of the main rotation and had significant roles, have since moved on.
Austin Davis Garcia back in for the Patriots.
So last opportunity here to get a last shot. There's 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7.
James goes for the 3, and he's got it. Michael James for 3. And that takes us to halftime. The Mustangs out to a 4-point advantage. No, excuse me, a 3-point advantage, excuse me. A 22-19 score for the Mustangs headed into the locker room. Did I not hit the button hard enough? Is it 25? Everyone over there thinks it's 25. I care what you think. Is it 25? Okay, thank you.
You should put 23 up there just to see it.
They already think I'm the worst thing to have in a basketball. All right, so now that we hit the button hard enough, 25-19 is the score. Makes it a 6-point advantage for the Mustangs headed into the locker room thanks to that 3 by Michael James. Here are your halftime stats, beginning with Freedom. Austin Davis Garcia has hit a free throw and has 5 rebounds. Brendan Van Bart with 3 points, 1 rebound. Jonathan Colon, 2 points and 2 rebounds. Damari Turner has 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. And leading his team for the first half is Holden McKenzie with 9 points, 3 of which came from behind the arc. He also has 2 rebounds and 2 steals. As for the Mustangs, Isaac Laster with 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Xavier Christian with 3 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal. Terrence McLean has 8 points on the board along with 5 rebounds and an assist. And leading all scorers for the first half, it's Michael James, who has 12 points, 9 of which have come from long distance. He also has 7 points and 3 steals and 3 block shots as he's trending toward a double-double. Once again, for those of you who are here in the arena, make sure your friends and family know that they can be joining us online if they head over to the Wekiva Sports Channel on YouTube. You can also get to our live scoreboard feed as well as our live play-by-play stats using the link on our website, wekivamustangs.com. For those of you who are listening online, we're going to take a break and we'll be back in about 8 minutes here at Mustang Arena. The Mustangs lead the Patriots 25-19 at halftime. All right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Mustangs get the first possession of the second half in a game that has been somewhat lackluster on both sides. Neither team really playing playoff quality basketball at this point, but this is the first regular game of the new year. I know some of the teams have participated in holiday events that may have crossed January 1st, but this is certainly the first regular game after January 1st. And here we'll get Terrence McLean puts the second half on the board for the Mustangs as he picks up a jumper, and that'll give the Mustangs now an advantage of 27-19. Second chance basket by Austin Davis Garcia. Alan Archer on the pass from Damari Turner. So a lot of action happening there at the Mustang end of the arena. We had a basket, a steal, another couple of attempts, and finally it lands in the hands of Freedom. Michael James is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot two for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Jonathan Colon. It's his first personal foul and the team's first this half. So nice look there by James. Almost got it to go in. It wanted to. And gravity just did not work out in the Mustangs' favor on that particular attempt. But James will get a chance to go to the line twice for his efforts. Hits the first. Checking into the game for Freedom, Holden McKenzie. And a miss there, but Poole gets the rebound and earns a foul. Foul called against Maxwell Dye, his third personal foul. And the team's second. Checking into the game for the Patriots, number 2, Carvin Lagar. Michael James with an inside pass to Terrence McLean for the Mustang basket. So the Mustangs now up to a 9-point advantage. Second half has belonged to Wekiva on the whole so far. And Holden McKenzie is called for traveling. Mustangs ball. Mustangs have outscored Freedom 7-4 since halftime. We'll go to the outside corner. Christian thought about a three, but decided to go a different way. James gets double teamed, has to send it back, and it's a good thing. Terrence McLean, 4-3 on the pass from Michael James, and we'll pause for a freedom timeout. Full timeout requested by the Patriots. And we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Mustangs on a bit of a roll here in the third period. Again, the score by quarter 10-4 since halftime. And that has gotten Wekiva out to their biggest lead of the game. They lead by 12, 35-23, with about half the third period gone. And the Patriots will have the ball at their own baseline as we come back.
Yeah, Wekiva has gotten a lot more consistent here in this third quarter. That was one of the things we talked about in the first half. Just the consistency just was not there. They were not taking advantage of opportunities created on both ends. This time they're actually turning those opportunities into points and stops. Oh, great play there.
Terrence McLean to Latavius Poole. And yeah, you feel like you want to give a double assist for that. As Xavier Christian pops it over to Poole in transition. Poole didn't have it himself. Or excuse me, McLean didn't have it himself, so he popped it over to Poole, and just a beautifully executed play there. That's not something you see out on the blacktop.
Yeah, Wekiva was very quick and decisive in making their decisions that time.
And we've talked so much, Neil, this year about how the Mustangs have struggled with that synchronization, that ability to gel, predict what your teammates are going to do. And so now we finally see a little bit of that from the Mustangs, being able to predict each other's movements, one step ahead of the defense, and that converted really nicely on that last possession. Nice block there by Michael James.
Yeah, and again, as I mentioned, Wekiva's not only playing well this quarter on the offensive end, but the defensive end, and that's just a matter of being able to rotate properly as the ball moves around. And you saw that in that last possession there with the block. Seeing it again here, not quite as dramatic as a block, but nonetheless effective in the fact that the bottom line is you're trying to stop the other team from scoring.
And the Patriots got a little help there from the official coming down the court. Not that he did anything wrong, he just couldn't get out of the way and probably kept it in bounds.
Again, Wekiva opened up this game in full court press. That's man-to-man. They went back to man-to-man half court about early in the second quarter, and they've remained with that here in the third quarter.
Three won't go for McKenzie. Put back isn't going to go either. And ultimately it's Poole that comes up with the rebound. Put back made by Latavius Poole. And there you have a lot of action in back-to-back plays there by Latavius Poole, the direct-to-varsity freshman. Foul's called against number 12, Isaac Laster. That's his second personal foul. The team's first this half. Holden McKenzie up the paint for two. Isaac Laster on the layup. And you hear the Patriots coach shouting, "Too easy," and I would have to agree. Patriot defense offered that layup up, and the Mustangs were not ones to decline. Checking into the game for Freedom, number 4, J.C. Cologne. Number 13, Holden McKenzie waits his turn for 2. Nice job there reading the timing, and then at the other end of the court, we're going to draw a foul. Jaden Battle is fouled on the attempt to go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Patriot foul called against Braden Van Bart. That's his first personal foul, and the team's third. Battle's first time at the free throw line, and he makes his first. Second is a strike as well. "30-second timeout requested by the Patriots." And a good pass will give an opportunity in transition. Can't get it. But J.C. Cologne is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul called against Mustangs. Latavius Poole, his first personal foul, and the team's second. So far, the Mustangs are riding an 18-8 quarter. Make it 18-9 now, as Cologne hits his first. Pause here to mop up some sweat.
So, again, Wekiva's gone back to the full court defense there. And, again, that's high risk, high reward when you play a press as opposed to a trap. Of course, either way, you are taking a higher risk, but the press is far more higher risk than the trap. And there you see it. And Wekiva's going to actually, again, catch a break here in the fact that only 1 of 2 free throws is going down. Opportunity for Freedom to cut the lead and get some momentum here at the end of the third quarter, unable to take advantage.
So to expand on what you were saying, Neil, when you add that risk to the play, the chance that you open up is that you can get the steal more often. The risk that you take is that if you don't get the steal, they might end up scoring in transition. And it looks like we are going to get a call here for out of bounds. Indeed we are. Out of bounds, Patriot ball. Checking into the game for Freedom, number 1, Damari Turner. And, of course, that was right in front of the score table, so I couldn't see it, but it certainly looked like it might have been out of bounds on that dribble there by Isaac Laster. Second chance basket by Maxwell Dye.
So 13-point lead here as we get under 50 seconds in the quarter.
And And a poorly advised layup attempt there by McLean. He was not able to control it as it left his arm.
Several Freedom players around him. Would have been much better served, as you mentioned, Mark, to pull it out and reset.
Fouls called against Mustangs number 12, Isaac Laster, his third and the team's third.
So now Wekiva goes back to half-court defense here, still staying in man-to-man.
Calvin Laguerre bounces and lays up. And so the Patriots seem to have stopped the bleeding for the third period. They're definitely going to go into the last 8 minutes behind, but they have kept themselves in it, to say the least.
Yeah, they've done enough to give themselves an opportunity here as we head into the fourth quarter.
Terrence McLean to Michael James for 3.
That was a beautiful sequence of passing there, Mark. Something we have not seen a lot of, at least not until the third quarter, but that was a...
Block is called against number 0, Jaden Battle, his second, the team's fourth.
But that was a very important three-point field goal. As you mentioned, Mark, looked like Freedom was going to get out of this quarter, probably maybe no more than 12 points. They're now down by 14. And, of course, Wekiva will have the momentum heading into the fourth quarter.
That takes us to the end of the third period. The Mustangs outscored the Patriots 21-13 in that set of 8 minutes. And so it's a 46-32 lead for Wekiva headed into the final quarter of tonight's varsity contest. We'll be right back. The Patriots have the opening possession of the fourth quarter. And welcome back to Mustang Arena for the last 8 minutes of tonight's varsity contest. Mustangs are 2-0 so far with the freshman and JV contest. We're going to try to make it a perfect night here and finish strong. And we're going to get a call of traveling Mustangs ball.
So that's how obviously you want to start the fourth quarter here. Not only taking away the opportunity for Freedom to cut into that lead, but giving Wekiva now gave itself an opportunity to extend the lead. As you would expect, given that Wekiva did dominate that third quarter, the percentage for field goals have gone up.
Fouls called against number 13, Holden McKenzie. That's his second personal foul, the team's fourth. And it will send number 0, Jaden Battle, to the free throw line, shooting 2.
Wekiva was only 8 of 24 from two-point field goal land in that first half. They're now at 14 of 33, so they went from 33% to, I'd say, probably about 42, 43. Obviously, 14 of 33, that's a little less than 50. And they were 2 of 5 from three-point land. Freedom's still struggling, though. They actually got a little bit better, too, but not nearly as much of an improvement as Wekiva, as the second free throw is no good there. Freedom was 11 of 27 from two-point land and 2 of 11 from three-point land. Remaining an advantage, though, was the offensive boards. Wekiva now is at 14-8, 19-16 for defensive. And they even gained a couple of extra points at the free throw, 6 of 8 compared to 4 of 7.
Michael James is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Patriot foul called against Alan Archer. That's his first personal foul. And the team's fifth.
So, and of course, the other stat that we like to talk about, Mark, is turnovers, and that actually did also increase there for Wekiva. They had a 4 turnover difference. It's now 7, 15-8.
And you heard Coach Leonardo over there talking about boxing out, something his team has been struggling with as the Mustangs have been able to clean up the boards the last few possessions. And then we're going to get a turnover as the ball goes out of bounds. Mustangs ball, checking into the game for Wekiva, number 1, Terrence McLean.
So I think we're starting to see the inexperience of Freedom now coming to roost, so to speak, as Wekiva goes back to a full court defense. Not an entire team, Freedom goes to a full court defense. They got 3 guys in the back. Wekiva, nice job there of breaking that press down. It's good passing. And then they turn the ball over on a dribble.
Now the Freedom roster has just 5 seniors on it as Damari Turner gets the basket and a chance to make it a 3-point play. Mustang foul is called against number 11, Xavier Christian. That's his first and the team's 5th.
So when I say the inexperience of Freedom, it's not just simply a matter of their playing time because they're young, but also the physical maturity. Almost to a man, it's not a huge advantage, but almost every player that Wekiva's thrown out on the court is a little bit heavier and a little bit taller than Freedom.
Poole gets his 4th rebound there as the Patriots send Brian Munoz into the game for the first time tonight. Full court pressure coming on by the Patriots, and they're going to get a jump ball call. Held ball, possession Mustangs. Returning to the game for Wekiva, Isaac Laster. Stokes looking for an opportunity, goes over to Battle, and then into McLean. And Terrence McLean is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Patriot foul called against Damari Turner, his 2nd, and the team's 6th. And so the Mustangs will now enjoy the benefit of bonus for the rest of the game. McLean hits his first.
Extends the lead to 16 points. 6.5 minutes left.
And McLean drains both of his free throws. Three from Munoz won't go. And Patriots try to chase it out of bounds, but it's actually going to go off the Mustangs. Checking into the game for Freedom, Holden McKenzie. And now, Neil, I think at this point your focus shifts if you're the Mustangs. It is not impossible, but certainly improbable that Freedom is going to return from a 17-point deficit with as little time left as there is in the game, barring a major shift in momentum. But if you're the Mustangs, that's not really good enough. If you're the Mustangs, you want to end this game on a high note. You want to use this as a springboard into the second half of your varsity season. Wekiva will, of course, be participating in the Metro versus Florida Challenge, a signature event for Central Florida coming up at the end of next week. And they do have some important district contests coming up. So where you're likely going to pick up the win here, you want to also finish with that momentum and with that energy going into the next contest.
Yeah, Mark, and we mentioned it from the very beginning of the broadcast tonight.
3-point basket by Terrence McLean from Donovan Stokes.
This is a 3-9 team, and they're a very up and down team. They seem to lose either really big or they seem to lose close at the end. One of the keys to that record, though, is that they seem to find themselves in double-digit deficits early in the game, as soon as maybe halfway through the first quarter. Good sign, again, is that Wekiva avoided that, even though they it's taken some time for them to exert their game over Freedom. They were never behind in this game, let alone by double digits. So, but with that said, when you come in 3-9, you're looking for some momentum, and not just some momentum, but some semblance of being able to execute your game.
Putback made by Jaden Battle. And there you see Donovan Stokes proving why he belongs on a varsity squad. Nice steal and spin move there. Wasn't able to convert, but still set up a good play for the Mustangs. And here at the other end, Carvin Laguerres fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot two. The Mustang foul called against Latavius Poole. That's his second personal foul tonight and the team's sixth. So now we're going to be shooting on every foul for the rest of the game. As we get 1-and-1 bonus both ways.
And we still have 5 minutes, 15 seconds left. So again, as I was saying, you want to be able to feel confident and you want to feel some rhythm as far as being able to execute your game. And what I mean by game is being able to do the things, the skills, the talents that you're really good at, the strengths of your team. And that's something that Wekiva, obviously at 3-9, has not been able to do very well this year. Tonight, at least during the second quarter, they have done a very good job of quick, crisp passes, not just in the half-court set, but also the full-court set. They've also rebounded the ball well. As I mentioned, Wekiva had a 15-7 advantage. Excuse me, a 10-3 advantage at halftime, and then 14-8 at the end of the third quarter on offensive rebounds. I know they scored a number of points off of those offensive rebounds.
Michael James is called on the foul for the push. It's his second personal and the team's seventh. And that will send Brian Munoz to the line, shooting two for the Patriots. Returning to the game for Freedom, Holden McKenzie.
And to be honest, Mark, too, again, they played much better here in the third quarter. But if you recall, and this is something else that goes hand in hand with falling behind by double digits at the beginning of the game, Coach Lubin called a timeout simply for the fact to tell Wekiva that their effort just really was not very good. It was very lackluster.
Damari Turner steals a layup for the Patriots as we had back-to-back-to-back steals there.
Yeah, and again, there you see an example. Even though they're probably going to win this game, those steals were really a loss of focus.
Hold is called against number 1, Damari Turner. That's his third personal foul, the team's seventh. Michael James will go to the line and shoot 1-on-1 bonus for the Mustangs. Speaking of Michael James, he just recently hit double-double territory with 18 points, 12 rebounds so far, including the one he just got a possession ago. And he hits his first free throw to earn another one. Checking into the game for the Patriots, Etienne Gomez and Alan Archer. James misses the second. Rebound goes to Davis Garcia. Loses his dribble, and it's picked off by Jaden Battle. Back to the other end in transition. Battle to James. It's good. Jaden Battle on the pass to Michael James.
Yeah, and a good job there by Battle, immediately recognizing the ball was open there in the backcourt and taking advantage. He didn't hesitate and got the ball down court right away. Good give and go by Michael James to finish that play off.
Michael James is called on his third personal foul, and it's the team's eighth at the line, shooting two, Damari Turner. Managed to start more or less on time tonight after the freshman game went into double overtime before the Mustangs finally won 39-37. JV game was not as close. The Mustangs won that one easily. And now here we are in the varsity game, and the Mustangs are poised to make it a perfect night against the Patriots. 0 for 2 here, and Michael James pulls down rebound number 13. Gets out of the trap. Gets it over to McLean. McLean takes it the rest of the way. Terrence McLean for 2.
And again, good movement there by all the players. Of course, McLean wound up with the basket and the points. But as we mentioned, that's one of the complaints that Coach Lubin has had throughout the season, too much standing around without the ball. There they did not. They moved very well without the ball.
Backcourt violation, Mustangs ball. Jaden Battle on the pass from Isaac Laster. So we've seen a couple of well-designed plays in a row work out for the Mustangs.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. And again, you know, they've looked much, much better here in the second half, pulling away than they did in the first. Going to get another turnover here. Again, that was an unforced error by Freedom. Wekiva doing a good job to get down at the other end of the court very quickly.
Rebound here by Laster will give the Mustangs another shot at the bucket. Good idea, but the deflection will get picked off by Garcia, and then James picks it up at the other end. Now we've gone back to street ball. Alan Archer is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Michael James called on his 4th personal foul, the team's 9th. And Neil, one of the barometers I've always used personally for a game, even if you don't have stats in front of you, you're not a basketball expert, one of the barometers for the game is how much does this look like a pickup game that you'd see out on the blacktop versus a game that has like deliberate, well-designed plays. And this game has kind of swung back and forth between those two extremes.
Yeah, of course, being a native of Detroit, I can certainly relate to what you said, the street ball there. I spent a few hours myself down at our local outside park there.
Full timeout requested by the Mustangs. And as we head into the last couple minutes of tonight's ball game, here are your scoring leaders for Freedom. We got one in double figures. Holden McKenzie, 13 points, 2 rebounds. Damari Turner right behind him with 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Mustangs have got 2 players into double figures twice over. Michael James has already double-doubled with 21 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 assists. Terrence McLean is the leading scorer, though, with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Mustangs starting to go into a more comfortable cruise here, although, like I said a moment ago, we've had kind of going back and forth between well-designed and executed plays and outright street ball on both ends. Here we're going to get Stokes, who can't get it to go from under the basket. Rebound is pulled in by Gomez.
So as I mentioned, I think it's also important, once again, to point out.
Laguerre for 2.
To point out that Wekiva's field goal percentage has gone up, I'd say probably about 12 percentage points here in the second half. It was only 33% from two-point land. If you throw in the three-point land, it was well under 20. They're up to probably about 40 for the game now. And that's important to mention because usually a higher field goal percentage goes hand in hand with being able to do what Wekiva did tonight, and that's scoring a lot of points here in the second half.
Carvin Laguerre with back-to-back baskets for the Patriots. And it's going to be too little too late, although the Patriots would like to end the game valiantly, as we get a steal picked up here by Etienne Gomez, and then he subsequently draws a foul. Gomez is fouled on the attempt by Donovan Stokes. He'll go to the line and shoot two. Stokes is called on his 4th personal foul and the team's 10th.
So again, another strong rebound here for Mustangs. Unfortunately, they still can't quite get rid of the turnover bug.
Wake up!
So again here, Mark, as the last 45 seconds of the game tick away, far from a perfect game, much still to be worked on by Wekiva in a number of areas. They came out, I used to say, on the lackluster side. Nonetheless, so they got a much-needed victory. They will move the record up to 4-9. Again, Wekiva has had a rough season here, obviously, with the record. But as we've mentioned, they've lost a number of close games, but they've also been blown out a number of times. And you just need to at least get a victory to kind of right the ship, to kind of be able to get a blueprint for what you do well and what to avoid not doing. And that's exactly what Wekiva is going to get tonight here.
Second chance basket by Xavier Lucien. And you hear the team erupt in applause. Lucien doesn't have any points on the board yet. And now he does. And that's probably going to be the last word of that game, and indeed it is. As that takes us to the end of the ball game, and the Mustangs hold on for a 63-45 victory here on Monday Night Basketball as we come back from the winter break. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out tonight to support your Mustang and Patriot athletes. Leading scorer for the Patriots is Holden McKenzie, 13 points, 2 rebounds. The Mustangs have 2 that are right neck and neck. Michael James double-doubles with 21 points, 13 rebounds. Terrence McLean leads all scorers with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Mustang men's team, their next game is going to be at home against West Orange as they return to district play. And that is coming up a week from tomorrow. It's going to be on the 15th, so the Mustangs get a good week off. But we still have some Wekiva basketball action coming up here at Mustang Arena. We've got 2 ladies' games. We'll start on Wednesday, the 9th, as the Mustangs will host their first district contest of the new year, as Wekiva prepares to host, again, Wednesday night. It'll be a 6 o'clock JV game, and followed by 7:30 varsity, and we will be carrying that live on YouTube as well. Again, ladies basketball coming up this Wednesday at 6 o'clock and 7:30, and that'll be against the West Orange Warriors. We hope that you'll join us for that. Once again, thanks for joining us here in person at Mustang Arena or on our YouTube channel, Wekiva Sports. We hope that you will subscribe to our YouTube channel regardless of whether you come and see us in person or watch us online. Meanwhile, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We're Wekiva Sports there too, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. On behalf of Neil Fisher, I'm the Apopka Chief. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, wishing you a great night.